Hello.
That went quick.
Did go quick. That's what happens when you're having fun.
Hang on, you talk amongst yourselves.
We've got nobody in the chat, nobody to talk about. So let's just whistle for 20 minutes. Somebody comes on.
Don't say that. I do that.
Well, good evening, everybody. There's nobody in the chat at the moment, so we're talking to the ether. But for anybody who's watching back, thank you for watching on replay. We really do appreciate that. And for those that are coming in late, where the bloody hell were you? Anyway, we'll catch up with you a little bit later. So tonight we've got young Erik on, Erik Thompson, all the way from the United States, and he's chatting to us tonight. This evening, only a general little chit chat we're having with him. I think Viv's got his CV. Or so she tells me.
I've got CV, yeah.
CV, and those of you that are very, very observant and quick will have noticed that there's nothing on it.
It's plain.
So it's a blank CV, but
it's very full. It's a very full CV.
Oh, is it written in what do you call it? Is it written in that secret ink? Is that what it is? Yeah, pour water on it before it reveals itself.
Erik's told me all about himself.
We're talking about Erik tonight. We're also talking about Urbex Vs Paranormal. I want to hear your thoughts on that, what you think about that, whether you think it's credible, or you think it's I don't know, whether you think the overlap works, or whether you think the overlap's not good, or let's just talk about it anyway and see what your thoughts on it, whether it's anything that we can proffer from it that's good. So
sorry, I'm still sharing.
No, you're all right. Oh, we've got two people on there. Well, thank you very much. Why you've been late? We're very annoyed at you. You have to hang around to rewatch the beginning of this when you finish. Thank you for coming in. Can you let me know who's in the chat, please, just to let us know that we're out there, we're broadcasting properly, and we're reaching those out there in the ether. Just say a quick hello, or just put your name down, just so we can acknowledge you, say hi,
give you a shout out,
and get to chatting. So I was talking, guys, about tonight's chat, and it's about the that paranormal or Urbex versus paranormal or paranormal versus Urbex. I don't know what side of the fence you guys fall on. Maybe you do a little bit of both. I don't know. Do you think the two of them work together? Do you think that one of them is just not credible, i.e. Urbex? Or do you favour Urbex? I don't know. Oh, we've got Rita there. Hello, Rita. I didn't expect you on tonight, Rita. Are you, Paul? I hope you're good, Paul.
Hello, Paul. Love Paul.
So
he's got a funny accent.
Again.
Dan, he's got a funny accent, but we still love him.
We do love Paul. I've heard my friend Tony Stadwell told me a bit about Paul.
Did he?
He did, yeah. Hi, Bri.
All right, Bri.
Got Bri in there.
Oh, boy.
So as I say, we're talking about Urbex and the paranormal, Urbex versus the paranormal. What are your thoughts on that? Now, personally, well, I want to find out from Viv. Viv, what do you think about Urbex versus paranormal?
I think they're completely two different things.
Yes, I do.
And the Urbexes, they a lot of them, I think they're going with the cameras, and they're more true Urbexes, just want pictures, just to explore, take photos, and it's more an architectural type of thing. But also the Urbexes, believe it or not, are the ones that they don't cause damage, let's say, not the real Urbexes. They're more interested in the building and as I said before, but they're also making sure that the building's still okay and safe. I know Urbexes that have gone in. I know solicitors that do Urbexing.
Can you explain to people what that word means?
Going into a derelict or disused building.
Urban exploring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Taking photos and building up a dossier of where they've been and what they've been to see.
Yeah.
I'm like that. I agree. I think that the thing about Urbex is they do have a place, and I think it works really well because they document these buildings for posterity.
Yes.
So it's nice to have some sort of information to look back at. And if it weren't for people like Urbexes, I mean, even Urbexes have probably been around forever, haven't they?
But what they also do is they're reporting on things like break-ins, misuse. Some of them scare away the vandals. These kids and so-called paranormal investigators that do urbexing that are causing damage, they frighten them off. They also, people don't realise that actually it's like a welfare check on the building as well.
Yeah.
Do you get that, Erik, where you are in Wisconsin?
I haven't. Well, not right in Wisconsin because there's not very many that has been abandoned buildings here. But I've seen a lot of it on TV where an actual urban explorer goes in just to investigate this and actually picks up paranormal stuff, which is really cool because I love that.
Yeah.
But then again, you got to be careful when you do that because if you get hurt and you're by yourself, there's no one to help you.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree. I think a lot of them, and it's interesting actually, if they are genuine urbexers, you'll find that a lot of them do pick up like snippets of the paranormal because they're not even looking for it.
No, it's when you're not looking for it.
Yeah, they do.
When you're not looking for it, it comes in volumes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolute volumes.
And I think that's a good thing. I've seen a few of them that have been out there that I've watched their channels, and they're really interesting because I like looking at the architecture and the history of the buildings as well. And it's nice to keep that going. But it's also nice when you watch them and they don't get anything, and then all of a sudden they'll pick something unusual up, like a voice. And it's come from nowhere, and it's just them in the building. You think, well, that's quite odd. And I know they're not doing it for clout because that's the reason
Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Kisses for Jeremy. Hope you're feeling well.
Yeah, hope you're good, Jeremy. Hope all's good, buddy.
Bryce says a lot of what he does is Urbex. Watch his vids then, Dan. But the thing is, though, urbexes are also blamed. They're blamed for a lot. And over here, we've got buildings that are Grade 2 listed that are left to decay. And the reason that happens is because the owners do not have the funds or the money or the know-how how to restore the building as per the guidelines set out by these people that put the Grade 2 listing on. I don't know what you call that organisation that does that, but I for one have a member of my family that bought a building, and the land was worth more to him than the building itself, so he left it to rot and decay. He didn't put a fence around it. He didn't put private property around it or anything like that. I think once it got to a stage where it became a little bit more dangerous, he had to, just for argument's sake, trespassers will be prosecuted, all the rest of it. But he was hoping that the urbexers, kids would get in and set fire to the thing to raise it to the ground.
Yeah.
So when you hear these people say, oh, but that's illegal, that's this, that's that, they don't know. They haven't got a clue what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, it's not illegal to trespass. Well, it's a civil
matter, isn't it?
Civil matter, yeah.
A trespass case is a civil matter. So if the owners do not want to take it to court because they don't think it's worth it, there's nothing that the police or anybody else
Yeah, no, the police
do.
can't do a thing about it, can they?
No. So I know in the paranormal community you get a lot of jobs worths saying you can't do that, that's illegal, you're breaking the law. Actually, you're not.
You're not.
No. I just want to jump in there quickly for Jeremy. That's great news, Jeremy. Well done, buddy. Really happy for you. Really glad about that.
That's amazing, Jeremy.
That's fantastic stuff. Really excited for you. Really glad for you.
He's the only guy that I know that can smash his face up, they can rebuild it, and he still looks quite good looking after it's all finished and done up. The guy's an enigma.
There are urbexers, though, that will keep in the buildings, burning furniture and the like. Urbexers are more likely to break in. Not all, but some do. Yeah, but we get I know paranormal investigators that do that, though, Brian.
I know a lot of homeless will also commandeer a building, and they'll use squatters' rights. And
good luck to them. If they can get use out of it, good luck to them.
Yeah, and once you get squatters, there's not really much you can do.
No.
It depends on what side of the fence you sit on,
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody can use it, good luck to them.
So do you know how long before you get squatters' rights over there? Because here it takes up to 10 years. So.
Over here, it's near enough immediately.
It's right away, isn't it? More or less?
Yeah. 48 hours, I think. If the police
is it 48 hours as soon as you take up occupancy?
48 hours, they can come in and kick you out.
Because over here, Eric, what we have people going on holiday, coming back after a fortnight, their house is occupied and they can't get them out.
Huh. Wow.
And they get the police, but the police really can't do much about it, I don't think, can they?
I think it's the council that
council,
to
yeah.
put that order in.
And that can take for ages, can't it? And then by the time you get your house back, it's wrecked.
Yeah. So urbexing, I think it's good. A series of gifts, and so far I've kept I've kept all the receipts. Just let me know if you need any Gorilla Glue. I can send you some from the UK, and I can have the UK prices on it. Just don't put it in your hair.
No. It'll be like that. What was that film called? The one with where she put the stuff in Mary or something?
There's something about Mary. I can
Is
do
that
it.
it? Where she got that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you know that bit sticking up at the front?
That was it.
Oh, what's that? Dick has that giant can. I'd like to get some use out of. Oh, I don't know.
So today, Anthony, we're talking about urbexers versus the paranormal, and we're looking at the negative and possible positive sides of both. And yeah, I mean, when urbexers, I mean, they've been around forever, haven't they? Really, I guess. But I think that.
Night, Jeremy. Take
night,
care.
Jeremy. Good night, buddy.
See you later, bud.
Hi, Unette.
Hi, Nettie.
I think that they've both got they've been around forever. I think urbexers. It's just they've given it a name now, haven't they? There's always people been exploring buildings and looking at the architectural and the historical side of it. And I like them because I think that they do keep stuff for posterity. They document it. And there's one guy I follow. He's in Manchester, and he does a lot of the history of Manchester. And he's brilliant. He's only an ordinary guy. No fancy cameras or anything like that, but he does real great work. And a lot of the history of the places is just knocks you sideways. And he'll talk about the buildings, he'll talk about what they are and their different carnations, who owned them, what they were, what they've become, what they were over the years, who owned them, what, if anything a little bit dark or dodgy went on there, he'll tell you the history of that. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely like stepping back in time with him into the building. And it's absolutely super. And he has on occasion picked up stuff that he can't explain. And he's not even looking for it because he's more about the history and he's more about the taking photos and stuff. You know?
I think there's a great deal to learn from some of these urbexers because when they go into the building, they're not just looking at a derelict building. As you said, they're looking at the history and telling the story. It's keeping history alive. I think is brilliant. They can do that. But if they're going in and they're just mucking around and what I call playing silly buggers, then I think that that's something different.
That tends to be a lot of the kids, doesn't it? A lot of the kids that go out there and do it, that like 16, 17. So a lot of them don't really, and even younger than that, they don't seem to have respect for the buildings themselves. They're just in there because it's a little bit, it's a little bit dodgy. It's a little bit naughty. They know they shouldn't be doing it, and they're recording it because they're bigging themselves up and trying to give themselves credibility and what have you. It just doesn't work. It's just like you look at them and you think you're twats. What do you think, Joe?
You what, sorry?
What do you think about it?
I think it's good in one way, but then it can kind of bite you in the arse because obviously, if anything happens, if it's proper derelict and they go in, they have an accident. It's their own doing, isn't it? So,
it's like Erik was saying,
you kind of got to look at both sides of the bush, really, if that makes sense.
It's like Erik was saying, a lot of them go on their own, and it's silly because if they get injured,
well, exactly,
people aren't going to know you're in there.
But no, I think it's quite interesting that if you do find a building and you're not there for the paranormal, crack on, do what you got to do, and if you find anything that's unexplained, then it's more than some people get in investigations sometimes, isn't it?
Well, there are some that I've lost credibility with because they've gone out to do they've done urbexing. Then they've gone out, caught a bit of paranormal, and all of a sudden the numbers in their channels have gone up and the views have gone up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're paranormal investigators.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
You can't just do that. It's like you just can't do that.
No.
You can, but you're not being sincere.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, you're doing it for the wrong reason. You know, the ones that I do admire are the ones that carry on being urbexers.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's another thing Bryce just picked up on. He said he called at a place yesterday and no way would you say that place was occupied. But it was. The little old fella was frail and vulnerable, but quite chatty, and he let him take some pictures. Like, some people believe that because the place is run down, it gives them right to enter a property.
No, it doesn't.
It's best to do your homework first and know what it is you're going into and what you're looking at. I think that it goes without a shadow of a doubt, really, doesn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
It does. I mean, personally, I will go in. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've been at places that I shouldn't have been. A couple of times I've been in a place that I shouldn't have been. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob. I've not liked it. I've not felt right about it. It almost feels like you're, you know, even though it's not illegal in the sense that you're not going to get arrested, you're just thrown out. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like if you're not invited in there, or you haven't got a right, however, for paying or what have you, you really shouldn't be in there.
No.
You know, I've done it a
Eric,
few times, 2 or 3 times.
Eric, do you have places at all, like not just buildings, but caves, tunnel systems? Do you have anything like that?
More for that, tunnels and stuff like that. I've been in one in my lifetime, but you know, or like a cave.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's
I know a guy that decided he wanted to all of a sudden do some urbexing. It was just off the spur of the moment. In fact, it was one of Damon's friends, and he found what I can only describe as a hatch. It looked like a manhole cover. So he lifted the manhole cover, found there's a ladder that went down in it. He went down in it, and he was on his own to find it was an old air raid shelter. And it even had, untouched, still had the newspaper on the table from 1940 something.
Wow. Wow.
He wouldn't tell us where it was, and I'm glad he was like that. He kept their place very secret, but put everything back before he came back up again. So he's left it in the way he found it. Somebody else, when they come down to do exactly the same.
Yeah, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you?
I think that's the problem, isn't it? The problem is those that they broadcast where they are, and they, you know, even though they don't mention it, they put photos up of where, and it doesn't take long to work out from an area where a southern area is, and then narrow it down a bit, you know. And I think they give the game away, and then all of a sudden, then it gets flooded by idiots.
Yeah,
who just wreck it, you know.
That,
all credit.
That, like, destroy the inside of historic buildings and historic castles, you know, by putting graffiti all over it, trashing it. It's really disgusting.
It is. Yeah. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. We've got a building in our town, and the building's over. I mean, the building's about 1,000, so probably older than 1,000 years old now. And on the outside of it, it's got a medieval sculptures. They're full size. They're out of wood, and there's a male and a female. And it stood there it's got to be 600 years. It stood there, and somebody came along on Christmas Eve and just sawed the head off of one of them.
Wow. Oh my God!
You know,
really?
Been there for like 600 years, and some idiot had sawed the head off it. And you know what? I think that should carry a real big chunk of time. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I don't think the punishment for damaging historic buildings or historical artifacts is not enough. They need to carry a real chunk of time with it.
Someone's TV is louder than us lot.
Yeah, kids, they can hear you on here. It's being too loud. They can hear you on the thing.
We can hear all of you as well.
Yeah, you're in our show now.
Oh, bless them. Poor
Sorry, it's probably my lot actually.
Having fun.
Come on out there.
Oh, bless them. No, leave them alone.
No.
Sounds like somebody fell over.
So he laughs. That's nice, isn't it?
Robert says we have underground heating systems in some areas that footpaths of that pipe to.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's old, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I don't think I've ever known anywhere with that sort of setup.
There is something very similar, and we've got it actually in the centre of London, where the Romans used the underground piping systems. They piped hot water through.
You used to use it. Yeah, I was going to say it sounds Roman, doesn't it? Sort of.
It could have been Victorian even.
I think that's called the underground.
Right?
It might. Yeah.
That's where all the shit goes.
Then?
That's where all the poo goes. Oh my God. He says about 3 foot deep.
Wow. I wonder, do you know what? It's got me thinking. As soon as you mentioned the heating on the pavement, I'm thinking, I wonder if it snows there. Does the snow settle on the pavement, or does the heat actually melt it away? If it's hot enough. With a fantastic chapel in our area and an Urbex group hosted the location, our hosted location that it was open. Yeah. That's it. That's the problem, Bri, isn't it? Whitchurch Hospital in Cardiff is over 100 years old and since it closed. That exactly, Sarah. That's the problem. They ruin these places. They absolutely decimate them, and that's what we're talking about.
What amazes me as well is here in England, and you'll be interested in this, Erik. We have a lot of really old, ancient churches, and a lot of them still to this day leave the doors unlocked, so you can go in during the day, have a look around the churches. But you find kids get bored with their spray cans in a church of all places. They'll decimate a church. It's just unreal what some people do, and they're now they're being forced to lock the doors, and it stops anyone from going in. Dan and I have been quite lucky, and we've been to some amazing churches with some really, and I mean really old artifacts in there.
Wow.
And we have been spoiled, haven't we? Really, Dan?
We have. And we've been lucky, haven't we, that either somebody's there with the key or it's open at the time, or they give you a number, don't they, that you can phone now, and you can get somebody like a key holder to come around and let you in, which is sad that they have to do that, really.
Yeah. The paths are concrete slabs and they fit into one another.
Okay.
They had a boiler house that they supplied coal-fired heating.
It's clever, isn't it? You know?
Mm.
We haven't even got that sort of technology. We don't use that technology today, do we?
No.
We could do with it, and we just got rid of it.
It's because it's coal, isn't it? Fossil fuel.
Yeah.
They use it now. So paranormal investigating as opposed to urbexing. So there's a derelict building and a group of paranormal investigators decide to go in there. How do you think that sort of compares to the urbexing? And I'll put that question to each and every one of you.
I can only speak as the way I find, and the way that people that I've worked with that find the same as me, is the people I've worked with exactly the same as me, in the sense that I've always said, if you're into paranormal investigation, you're into history, because the two go hand in glove. You have a love of both. Yeah. And I often say that it's not the fact that you're speaking to somebody that's passed over and is in a different dimensional realm is amazing, but the fact that you're talking to somebody that lived history, that you can, you read about these things, these places in history, you read about these times, you read about how people lived, and yet you could be communicating with somebody from one of those periods that knows all about that building, all about what went on there, all about that time frame, and you're connected to them. And to me, from a historical point of view, because I love history more than anything, that's what draws me in.
So do you think paranormal investigators are not clued up enough these days to actually fully appreciate and understand that over here?
I think most of them, I think a lot of them now, for my liking, don't really go into the history of a property anymore. They're just about ghost hunting. And it's like, well, if you're going ghost hunting, you're not going to have interest in the history, then you can't have interest in the people that have lived that history. You've only got an interest in talking to somebody who you think's passed on. But there's a lot more to it than talking to somebody who's passed on. You're talking to, if they're still living, so you're talking to a living piece of history. If they can communicate with you, then they're still around. They're still alive, very much alive. Although they've been at a different skies, they're still the same.
Erik, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you a story that I saw on Facebook. this group went through an abandoned building. She picked up a vase. Now I know a little bit about antiques, and this vase had to be at least 100 years old. And she just took it, looked at it, said, "Oh, that's a nice vase," and threw it back on the ground. I'm like, do something with that. Tell somebody. I mean, come on. It's beautiful history. It might be worth millions of dollars for all you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. It's exactly that.
What about you, Jay? What do you think?
Oh, it's trying to tell people like you can't touch it because you know full well they're going to touch it and destroy it, or like Erik said, you know, that could be worth a couple of £100, or you know. So I think you're in a win-no situation really, where you're going to tell someone not to do it, but you know full well they're going to go, "Oh, we're going to touch that, we'll wreck that," you know. Then it's not fair on other people, and it puts people who do this in a bad respect, you know. But yeah, I think it's good for the paranormal. But on, like they said, like on the other side of it, it can be quite, I don't know. It's, do you know what I mean? Though.
Do you think there's a flip side of it though? Because if the paranormal teams are going into this abandoned building, as Dan rightly said, it's full of history. It's got a story.
Yeah.
It's there, but none of them these days, which really pisses me off. I don't care. I'll tell you, is that they don't do their research.
No.
All this, I'm going to go in cold and see what I get. Hang on. How would you know what rooms to concentrate your energies into? How would you know, unless you're a trained medium in the paranormal path, how would you know which rooms that you need to be sitting in, or this story of this man fighting his brother with a sword and killing him in this room? How would you know that that's there if you don't do the research beforehand?
Yeah.
I think it's are they really paranormal investigators?
Well, yeah, I think you're
That's
right.
why I have
I
to
think
ask
you're
them.
right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you need to know that history to give you a flavour of the place, so that when you go in there, you know what you're looking for, you know what you're dealing with, and apart from anything else, it's bloody interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I saw one once. He was an urban explorer, not a bad urban explorer. I mean, I used to follow him, so he was pretty good. But he peeved me off once because he found an old building which was inhabited by an old artist, and the guy had clearly passed on, and so they locked the property up. I don't know whether it was going to probate or what was happening with it, but it had been empty for a long time. So he got in there somehow. It was literally tons and tons and tons of unfinished or finished artwork. This guy,
Yeah,
and it was good stuff. I know it's real, and he just walked away and left it. And it's like, well, no, what you need to do really is, I think you need to be getting onto some sort of art museum or people that deal with art and say, look, I've just been in this building. There's tons and tons of art there. This guy's clearly amazing artist. He was quite well known, I think, as an area artist. He was known in the area and stuff. You need to get in there and try and rescue that, because even though personally I wouldn't touch anything from a building that if it's not mine, it's not mine.
No.
Exactly.
You know, I'll look at it and I'll photograph it, but if it's not mine, it's not mine.
but you could come across something that's really important that's in this building. But the Urbex or paranormal investigator can get in contact with authorities to say, look, this is in there. This needs to be secured.
That's what needs doing.
And that what needs doing. You know,
That's what needs doing.
Not rifling through drawers. And how's that investigating?
Oh, it's terrible, you know.
Oh,
and then
it's
they're
awful.
opening letters that are private, and they're opening stuff, going through drawers
And reading them.
and reading them, and showing you photos of the families. And it's like, well, they might not be around anymore, but maybe some of their family are.
Yeah.
And they don't want this, and you're out there sticking the history on the internet for the world its wife. It's not on.
We got some comments, guys.
Oh, we have.
So I'm going to put them up. So the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, churches do, yeah.
Really?
It heated about 200 houses.
Wow, that's interesting.
That's history right there.
Yeah.
Right there, Rob. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Well, that's fair enough. Exactly.
Yeah,
But
that's
Sarah, I don't agree, right? I really don't agree, because most paranormal teams out there are not what I would call professionals. They're
They're
doing
not
it for a
paranormal
hobby.
teams.
No, they're doing it for a hobby or for a quick fix, or let's see how many likes I can get on TikTok. You know, how many of them have got insurance? How many of them have got DBS checks? How many of them have got a first aider? How many of them carry a first aid kit? And this is a silly thing I'm
And how
going to
many of them know
say.
what they're doing?
How many of them have even got a torch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's how you perceive things, I think.
Yeah. That's me all over, that is,
true.
Robert.
Yeah, Dan's very lazy.
I'll find the easiest way. If there's an easy way, I'll find it.
I've
Yeah,
got to make
sit
the
down.
tea. I've got to make the tea for them all and look after
She's good
them.
at that.
Dan?
Chantel in
Hello.
the afternoon,
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
yeah.
whoop. Chantel Delight. Not Afternoon Delight, Chantel Delight. She's a delight, by the way. You are. What do they call that
I
now, these kids
think
that
they're
do vandalism?
morons, Robert. I
They
don't think
call it tagging, don't
tagging.
they?
Tagging, yeah.
Tagging.
they call it tagging here too. So
Oh,
What's
is it
that
tagging?
about?
We probably got the word from you, to be fair, Eric. We probably got it from
Yeah.
America.
Guilty Vivsos. Ah, Brian. I love Brian.
Yes.
Do you think items can have spirit?
Well, they can have energies attached to them. I think.
exactly.
I don't think spirits attached.
But not a
to them.
spirit. Not a
No.
spirit.
I think an energy, like a memory of what have you, can attach to something. But I don't think a spirit can attach itself. Hi, Joanne. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good now. Hiya, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Hope you're good.
What a lovely name.
It is.
Sarah, oh bless her. I'm not digging anyone out. This is just general, you know.
But I see Sarah's point. I do agree with Sarah that she is right. There are people that are out there that the difference between professional and tagging, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't see you in the chat. Sorry.
He's ignoring you, Chantel. That's what it
I
was.
wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
He would.
Yeah, I probably would.
How many of them do you see, like, when I say breaking into places, I'll go back. This is a bit of a rant, guys, so if you don't want to hear my rant, just turn the volume down. There were a couple of paranormal investigators that were investigating or doing their urbex exploring in a wooded area. They couldn't get into a building, so they decided to go for a walk around the wooded area and found a boy that had committed suicide, right? So he's
only improved my house. Sorry.
He's dangling from the tree, and he's been there a while.
Oh, I remember.
So there was no way that they were going to be able to save him. It was gone.
This was over here in the UK as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But what they did was they carried with an Urbex investigation by putting the camera on his feet, and it was clearly dangling. Then they were looking at things on the ground around him, found his suicide letter.
I think one of his shoes come off with.
Yeah. They opened the suicide letter and then started to read it live on air.
I remember that. I remember watching that.
Now, where's the professionalism in that?
It's not, is it?
There isn't.
Disgusting.
That poor boy's family they could come across that at some point on social media. They should have cut the cameras immediately and got on the phone to the police straight away and have somebody remain with the body while it's in that position, and then somebody else go and wait for the police to come, or whoever it is you need to call the authorities. You do not need to be continuing with a live feed or to be reading anything like that on social media. I think it's disgusting. I think they should make it a law. By doing that, it's not just disrespectful, they're contaminating an area that has to be investigated. If somebody dies suddenly over here with they've not been ill, for example, if I was to drop down dead tomorrow of a heart attack, you'll be damn sure that I would have to have a
An
post-mortem,
autopsy.
an autopsy to see why it is I died, what I died of, and what caused it, and rule out any misadventure
They have to,
or
don't
any
they?
foul
They
play.
have
They
to.
have to. And the same goes for suicides, because you think what you're looking at is a suicide, might not necessarily be so. It could be a murder. And by them doing that, they're contaminating that scene immediately. It's disgusting. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's contaminating evidence, and you can't do that. I mean, at least really against the law, you go to prison for it. So
yeah.
Over here, there's no law, is there?
It
Really?
can't be anything else. I think it's sacrilege.
Yeah.
I think it's just rude and just
that's somebody's child, somebody's son, somebody's boyfriend, somebody's husband, what have you, someone's father, I don't know. But then they've gone and done that, and it's just below contemptible. And do you know what? I think we go on about what's the difference. Do you know what? I know I'm going to sound like, I know I'm an old man now, but I'm going to sound like one now. The kids have not got any respect anymore. They're not taught respect. All they're taught is, you're special, you're great, you can do what you want, you can be what you want, say what you want, nobody has the right to judge you. Then they become arseholes.
Yeah.
And they go around with this self-entitlement, and the rest of the world suffers because of it. What the little bastards need is good hiding, sending to bed, taking their toys off them, and having it put straight to them. Respect everybody. It's not your planet, it's everybody's planet. You're sharing it with them. We're not sharing it with you, you're sharing it with them. Sorry, I'll lose it. I'll get really angry.
He's having a rant.
I'll get angry. These little
because you've got rid of the face.
I'm not saying all of them. There's some great kids out there. But I think anybody from...
I don't know about...
Anybody 25 down are arseholes, a lot of them. Sorry, Eric.
Go on, Eric.
No, it's all right. Do you know here that you can't even spank your kid?
I know.
Can't.
No.
Not allowed to hear either.
What
Do
was
you know
that?
what?
Say that
Not allowed
again.
to spank a kid.
No.
I still batter my kids, and my youngest is 26 years old, and my eldest is 34. And if they're out of order, I still give them a slap.
But look what well-adjusted, lovely lads they are.
Do what? Sorry.
But look what well-adjusted, lovely lads they are. And they all contribute. They all contribute to society, don't they? They all do good jobs. They all contribute to society, and that's the problem now. Nobody wants to contribute. They want to sit on bloody TikTok and YouTube and become bloody Instagram famous or whatever, while contributing F all to the world, and then expect the world to carry on ticking. Well, I'm afraid if everybody wants to be on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, there's going to be nothing out there to contribute from.
Exactly. Go out and enjoy nature. I spent in the forest every day.
Exactly.
You got some beautiful forests where you are, Eric. Is there?
Oh yeah, beautiful. Tall.
Yeah, but it's stunning.
What about Bigfoots and things?
I knew
like
it was going to get. I knew Viv was going to bring Bigfoot up.
There's supposed to be one not that far away from us. It's called Thousand Islands. Basically, it's just a whole bunch of little lands all over the place.
Wow.
But there's supposed to be one there. I haven't seen it, but.
Some of those American forests, those forests in the States look like heaven.
Yeah, lovely out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Especially when you're young and you can climb trees to about 200, 300 feet in the air.
Oh, now that's cool.
Wow.
That's cool. That's a proper childhood. Proper childhood.
So we got some things in the chat. Chantel spraying Dan's house.
Do you know what? You can only make an improvement on my house, Chantel, so crack on. Shall I book you in for Tuesday week?
Tuesday week.
I'll give you a paintbrush.
I'll give you a paintbrush.
Local tube as well. Hey, Raymond.
Hiya, Raymond. Hope you're doing well, buddy.
I don't know, man.
That's so disrespectful. The poor boy's family could have seen that.
Yeah, it was terrible, Sarah. Absolutely horrible.
They even showed you his trousers, didn't they? His trousers.
And you saw one of his. He had two of his feet hanging, didn't he? And one shoe had come off of him. Bless him.
I still have my Mrs. Beasley doll from 50 years ago. Wow.
Wow.
That's
that's
impressive.
cool.
A policeman till the body has
Yeah.
been taken
Yeah.
away. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew
Bless
up
them.
on the belt and I turned out fine. These days, when you take your kids out with somebody,
Same here, Lauren.
I used to get
Same
the
here.
bamboo cane off my mum, and if I was too quick, she'd throw her shoe at me. I remember that. Oh,
I used to get the cane at school quite a lot. I deserved it. I was a little bit of a pain in the arse when I was a kid, but I did deserve it. I can't say that I didn't deserve it. But you know what? It didn't do me any harm. And yet you talk to the kids today, I tell my kids, yeah, I used to get the cane and the belt at school, and they're like, what? And they think it's like medieval torture. It's like, no, it was fine. I got a whack. I deserved it. I was an arse.
oh, Rob.
I only had a board rubber at me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Robert, how cool is that?
Nice.
30 and 35. Wow.
They're still if they're your children, they're still your kids, aren't they, Lauren? Always will be.
Yeah. People want to know, Erik, where is it that you live? Not exactly where, but the area, where you're from.
I live in
State.
which I wouldn't be able to tell you any more than that. But it's in America, in Wisconsin. It's not that far away from Nick, if anybody knows Nick. So
I'm sure they know Nick.
Yeah, but do you think Eric's got a better accent?
I think Eric's a nicer bloke because he's like my twin. We grow similar beard. When I grow my beard out again, we grow similar beards.
there you go.
There you go.
Oh, God. Manchester. Coming out of the woods.
Yep.
Believe it or not, I saw a few in Newmarket last night. Oh, my God.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was the Wild Man of Borneo I was looking at.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Lauren, she don't look old enough, does she? In that
That's
picture.
an expensive Christmas.
Yeah. It is nice to put a voice to Eric's face.
Yeah, it is.
Right, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. Right, Erik.
Uh-oh.
What do you know about cryptids in your area, and do you get many?
Well, I don't know if we get many. Like I said, I know about that one in Thousand Islands that's supposed to be there. I imagine all Wisconsin and up to let's see, you go one way it's Minnesota, the other way it's Chicago, and there's a lot of forest. I've never met one growing up in the forest, but I've come 5 feet away from a deer and not knowing it. So
Really? Yeah, I'll bet that's frightening, isn't it?
yeah. I just happened to look over to my right, and there was the deer 5 feet away. Didn't even, just looked up.
Oh, what?
Didn't even hear anything.
Deer,
oh, crocodile.
deer.
Okay.
Do you know, I watched a film on Sunday. It was Mother's Day here, and my son, for Mother's Day, decided we were going to go to the pictures because I hadn't been in 10 years, or the cinema, as you want to call it over there.
I meant to ask you how that film was.
And I watched a film called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
So watching this film, I thought to myself, yes, all sorts of things can be dropped out of helicopters, all sorts of nice farms sprout up in woodland areas and things like that.
Mm.
So, and you hear stories of animals or even the cryptids might be eating these things that is left behind, or do you think the animals could act a certain way, or even the Bigfoots could act a certain way because of the drugs that they find, or even some of the food stuff can't be great with high amounts of sugar and that and E numbers. So do you think that can affect animals to act in a certain way, or maybe even sound different?
That's interesting. I think one thing that I know about they do it down the Amazon. They do it in a big place in parts of America as well. These because it's vast, isn't it? It's massive. The forests out there are massive. So you get a lot of people that make drugs that produce it in the middle of forests. And if they get somebody like the FBI or whoever turn up, they then pour the goods into the water.
Yeah.
So therefore they're polluting the water. So the water's a natural spring or what have you. The animals drink from, and you're quite right. If they drink that and they consume those narcotics, what effect does that have on them? That's a good point, actually. I never thought of that. It's a good
I think
point.
that's mainly like Colombia and that, isn't it?
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
the
they
cocaine
do it there.
comes from.
They do it all over, don't they? But you're
Yeah.
right. Mainly South America and stuff that they do it.
I think
But,
we'll all have to come and visit
interesting.
Erik and all go out hiking in the woods and camping.
There you
And
go.
I know I used to.
It's for days, so don't say that.
we get lost. Dan doesn't know where he's going. He'll say, "Yeah,
Nah.
my sat nav saying
Nah.
this way, but we'll go that way."
We'll go that way, and
Yeah,
it takes
be all
us.
right,
We'll go
won't it?
around the village 5 times, and then
Yeah, my favourite sounds to be all right. Mind you, I'm not the stupid one. It was the idiot that was following me. It knew where I was and still followed me.
that's still funny though.
It would be a great adventure. Anyway, we got some more things in the chat, guys. So, Lauren says she's 53 years old. She looks beautiful.
The young woman.
Yeah. Rob says, did he win or did he get beat up at the boxing, Viv? Well,
Right, I saw this. My opinion, he dominated it. He dominated it. 2 rounds. He done well in the 3rd round. It was just a unfortunate thing that give the guy. And I don't. If I'd have done it on point, if it had been me, and I'm not saying it because he's your boy, but if it had been me, I'd have thrown it to Damon, because I think that Damon had the lion's share of that bout.
Damon, in the last round, in the last 30 seconds, his opponent caught him in the ribs and cracked one of his ribs, and it winded him. So he went down to defend his ribs, and he just went like that. It was on the ropes, went like that, just so his ribs were shielded, and then it left it wide open for the guy to bang, 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 and my son didn't win because of that.
But I think he should and I'm just being honest.
It was a good fight.
I think he should have, because I think he had the lion's share of those bouts.
But he's asked for a rematch with the same opponent, and the opponent, I think, said yes.
Good.
And he was a lovely guy, and he even come over afterwards and apologised, and is Damon okay and all the rest of it, and he was fine. But yeah, so it's going to happen again. Oh my god, I don't think I'll go to this match.
He's enjoying it a bit too much.
He likes boxing.
He's enjoying it a bit too much.
Yeah, Lauren saw that movie. Godzilla.
Oh, I love that. Or as we call it, Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Japanese, isn't it?
Oh, Gojira is
Godzilla.
Well, catnip is somewhat a drug that drives a cat's crazy. So I think so. Yeah. Videos of drunk squirrels that have eaten fruit. Wow.
I've seen one of
Sarah, that'd be funny.
Maluri fruits in the trees in Africa, and the elephants and the monkeys get absolutely pissed. They're wobbling around. Go online and look for it.
They don't eat the fruit until it's really rotten.
It's rotten.
Alcohol from the rotten.
It's all alcohol, and they're pissed. They took a video of one monkey who woke up with a hangover. It was the funniest thing you've ever seen. I live in Virginia and I see deer all the time when I do my daily power walking. Wow.
Those elks, I saw some elk. Well, I didn't see pictures of elks. And I've even got an elk whistle hanging on the back of my door.
They taste good, elks as well.
The elks are amazing, but scary at the same time. I wouldn't like to get up to one close.
Tastes nice.
They're lovely. Elk's nice, yeah.
Can you eat elk?
A friend of mine used to...
it's a deer, isn't it?
A friend of mine he lived over here, but he was American. So what he used to do is he used to fly back every year hunting season, and he would do bow hunting. So what he would do, he'd go up a tree, and they sit up there for days.
Yeah.
And then what he would do is he'll hunt it, and then what he would do is he would cut it and carve it and freeze it and bring some back. And so every time he brought some back, I got to try some. Really nice.
It's venison, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice. Good quality, all healthy.
Oh yeah.
Grass fed, muscle, beautiful.
I've had some of their crabs. Not those kind
of
crabs. Not itchy.
Social crabs.
Not social crabs, but
social crabs.
You know the American crabs. I mean, when you get a crab over
they're massive.
They're huge. Why are our crabs not growing to the size of the crabs that they get in America? This is what I want to know.
I know.
They're cryptid crabs.
Where's the place in America where I always wanted to go there, where they do the big lobsters? Is it Maine?
Yeah, Maine.
Maine. Oh, I do amazing lobster there.
I ain't tried lobster.
Oh, it's nice.
Jay, I've got one in my freezer. When you come round, you can have it if you want.
All right.
It's nice lobster. Really nice.
It's very messy.
A bit
Right.
It's a Canadian lobster.
So he will get the win next time. Yeah,
I
he
hope
will,
so.
Lauren. Lawrence is
We
hi,
love
Brian. I went to boxing for 2 weeks, kept getting beat up. Do you know what? I used to go boxing. I went to boxing 2 times. I got beat up, never went back. And I weren't even in the fights.
I'll beat you up, Dan.
Everybody beats me up.
Oh.
I've had bison, yeah, it's nice. I've had rabbit and pheasant, yeah. Yeah, they're
Only
lovely,
pheasant for
Lauren,
me.
really.
And deer.
You can't beat
That's it.
game.
Well, the last pheasant I had to pluck it and gut it myself.
You did what with it?
I had to pluck it and gut it
pluck
myself. And when I was doing the plucking, because I thought pluck it first, gut it after. I was doing the plucking where it had been shot. The innards kept coming out, but it had been corn fed. It had been eaten out in the fields, eating corn.
Yeah,
So as I'm plucking it,
Nice.
all the corn was coming out the hole. It was disgusting.
Okay, I'm a vegan's worst nightmare. I am.
Nut taste.
Yeah, it does. It does, Joanne. Yeah, I agree. It does.
My crabs are not nutty tasting.
Crabs.
Crabs were quite meaty. They were nice. Alaska of the biggest.
Wow.
Talking of Alaska.
Yes, I believe, Lauren. It sounds amazing.
Nick!
Hi, Nick.
Shh. Everyone stop talking about him. He's there. He's in the chat watching.
Hi, Nick. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, buddy.
Hello.
Hope you're well. Hope you're well.
Nick. No. I don't think he heard you, dear.
Erik, you made it.
Yeah,
you got him on, Nick.
And guess what? Eric's not frightened of cockroaches, so
nope.
So there.
Not afraid of cockroaches, not afraid of spiders, snakes. I've got snakes out in the wild all the time.
I love all of those. I used to keep all of those as pets.
Nope.
My boy still got cockroaches as pets. He's very off, my boy.
You've two got more in common than you two realise. Do you
I
know
know
that?
I know. We're not bothered with snakes, spiders, cockroaches, nothing like that. We love them all.
Yep.
Stop that.
Nah.
I told you, me and Erik are twins. We're psychic twins.
Eric's the good-looking lad.
Eric's the good-looking, intelligent one. You're all right. I got the hair.
I don't have any either.
I'm bald as well. Me and Eric's got it. Me and Eric's got it all going on.
Oh dear, you two crack me up. So when you come over here, we'll be investigating together. We'll take Erik out.
No.
I love that. I want to do
And
that,
Lisa.
just not to even investigate, just to see the historic aspect of everything. Just what I want to do, you know.
I couldn't hear you. Nick.
We'll do that, Erik. Definitely do that.
Cockroaches. Oh,
Yes, death's heads.
Nope.
The ones that fly, they're pretty cool. They are.
we have a thing over here called a stag beetle. Andy's wrecking the place. That's Andy wrecking the place. We have a stag beetle, and they are the black beetles that fly that have the big claws on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a bit like a cockroach. We'll have to
They're
send one of
lovely.
them over to Nick. They're horrible. So yeah, we'll get out investigating. We'll take Erik out and Rita and Jay. You don't want to worry about Scotland. Scotland haven't got a patch on what we got. Honestly,
They've got midges.
They got midges.
I
They've
know.
got midges. They've got more midges than you can wave a stick
Not
at.
going to be in
Scotland.
the islands just yet, so.
They talk about their hills and their valleys and this, that. We've got that in Wales.
Yes.
Yeah. They produce a juice from the anal gland.
Oh, I think he's on
gland of the
about grass snakes. You're about grass snakes.
What?
I used to have skunks as well.
I was looking at a picture of your skunk the other day.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, she's gone now. I used to have loads of them, didn't I? I have been toying with the idea of buying another one.
Should we get a paranormal skunk, put a little coat on her, take her out to detect
Oh yeah,
ghosts?
yeah. That was great. Call Brian.
England is full of people.
It is.
Do you know why Scottish people?
The sad thing is, most of them aren't even English.
Yeah.
Do you know why Scottish people have ginger hair? It's because of their iron brew.
It is. They're made from goddess.
Of ancestors from Wales.
Everybody's got ancestors from Wales, Lauren. It's just most people won't admit to it.
I don't have ancestors from Wales. Mine come from, when we did our family tree, it was like Africa, Arabia, Persia, and Ethiopia. It went back to Ethiopia. I'm thinking, I
wonder if everybody's got that slight Ethiopian gene in them because of the cradle of
life, isn't it?
Yeah. Although they're reviewing that now, aren't they? They think they might have got that wrong, along with most other stuff. They think that the cradle of life actually is in. They think the cradle of life is somewhere around Edmonton.
Edmonton. North
Not
London.
Canada, Edmonton over here.
Canada, North London.
North London.
I reckon.
Oh no, that's the cradle of strife.
Erik could pass for an Englishman, couldn't he?
Yes, Erik has definitely got. He's got English. You can see Eric's part English. You can see he's got English blood in him.
Yeah.
You only got to look at him.
He's not saying a word.
Yeah,
well, he was. I'm going to admit to it.
Right, so let's all interrogate Erik now. I've got my CV that he gave me.
It's Eric's CV. We're coming up to the last few minutes. We're going to have a word with Erik.
Hey, Nick, help!
Yeah, Nick, get on here. Help Erik.
So, Erik, we just want to find out a little bit about you and who you are, and you know,
because everybody sees you in the chat. It's nice to get you up, and so people.
So, Erik, what are your hobbies?
Hobbies? Well, right now I'm putting radios together to make a spirit box type portal type thing.
That's cool. That's really cool. That is very cool.
So Dan is good with a battery.
He is. He's very good with a battery. So he's already got something over me already. I'm not good with batteries.
Erik, do you like sports? And if sports, what kind of sports do you like?
Well, I like football sometimes, but our team here in Wisconsin, the Green Bay Packers, is not doing too good. So, and we're losing some of our best players. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you like baseball?
I did at one point, but I really don't like watching it. It takes too long for me, and I got
a lot of Americans think that. A lot of Americans are not big on it, are they?
No.
Which is a big national sport, isn't it?
Shorter, so
one of them, yeah.
But the big question is, do you like sumo wrestling?
I've seen it. I do like it.
It's quite exciting.
Yeah. My favorite is mixed martial arts, though.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
That's led to the next question. Erik, can you fight?
Oh, yeah.
You can look after yourself.
I've been training in martial arts since I was real young.
Are you listening to this, Parker? You're fucked.
yeah. I need to talk to you after, Erik, and tell you exactly what Parker said about you.
If he doesn't have his driving license by December, will you join us in giving Parker a good kicking?
A good kicking. Yeah, I must admit, obviously I can't do it, and I've never done it, but I like watching mixed martial arts. What's that?
Your shoes. Erik, show Viv your shoes. Let's have a look at your shoes. Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear that.
You can tell about a person by their shoes. Can you take your shoe off and just show us your shoe?
I don't even have shoes on.
He's a hippie.
You must have dirty feet if she thinks you're wearing them then.
Marco, you got a question for Erik?
Not
What
really.
do you want to know about him? How tall are you?
I am 5'11".
Big guy.
Oh, he's taller than me.
Yeah, you're definitely Parker.
Yeah. Me and Viv,
Everyone's taller
all
than
me and
you.
Viv have got to do is hold you down. Erik can beat you.
Come on.
It's all right.
It's all right.
You got any questions? Dad, you got any questions?
Oh,
Look!
how cute.
Gorgeous.
John's better.
No, Eric's going to beat you now.
It's all right.
John, what did you think of the cat just now?
I'm looking at
No,
it.
he's not weren't interested.
What's the cat's name? What's your cat's name?
Mine's Serena.
Oh, she's cute.
John's watching intently.
She's very sweet.
He's just here. He's watching.
Here he comes.
Wow.
Oh, here he comes.
Nah.
Time to show you meals.
He just puts it in my face.
It's like a furry pencil sharpener back there.
Dan, behave yourself. So what do you see? What is if you could investigate, this is what we ask everyone. If you can investigate anywhere in the world, don't worry about distance, or where would it be and why?
Well, I really wanted to get into the old World War German bunker. And because, one, I would like to see if there's anybody there that, has a story. And two, because they still are looking for the Jade Room, apparently. So.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
interesting. Interesting. Actually, where's Parker?
Good day.
Mate, you did investigating buildings in France, didn't you? That were once they were occupied during the First World War by Germans, and by the Second World War they were occupied by the SS, weren't they?
Yeah, that's
And
right. Yeah,
you had problems there, didn't you? A few of you had problems there
yeah,
because there was still a lot of evil going on there, wasn't there?
yeah. Well, there was.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
It was in the First World War. It was a famous battle called Passchendaele, and where we pitched up tent. It was alive. It was past no man's land, I suppose. So yeah, that was quite interesting.
Oh, the Amber Room, Rob's saying.
Well,
Didn't they take it down piece by piece or
you're
something?
right. He's
It's
right.
somewhere, isn't it?
Called the Amber Room. I said jade because that's my favorite kind of color. It's the jade. But it is amber. He is right.
I reckon you're right, Robert. I reckon they had everything else, didn't they? I think like Robert says, the Russians have got it. I think you're probably right.
Russians have got what?
The
The
Amber.
The Amber Room.
Not for much longer.
Oh, Linda says hi or howdy and hi. Hello, Erik.
Has anybody in the chat got any questions for Erik? Anything they want to know about him? So if you have, put it in the chat and we will interrogate him further.
Interrogate.
Put them on the fire.
So I'm intrigued about these shoes.
Hold on, let me see if I can find one.
He's going to get the shoes.
Gotta get
Bless
shoes.
him. Hi, Rita.
He is Linda. He's in the hot seat.
Hold on. Can you see my shoe now?
Wow, they're big shoes.
Size are they?
What size are they?
10.5 to 11s I take.
That's massive.
Yep.
Big feet.
So, it could do Bigfoot imprints for us.
Yeah. Good.
Bigfoot.
And I won't wear anything but Skechers either. So
I like
Really?
Skechers. I wear Skechers. They're good.
yeah, because they're really
good, comfortable.
light and they're comfortable as can be.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I've got a pair of Dr. Martin boots for my
They're
birthday.
good.
I've
Wow.
been singing that song, Dr. Martin
Martin
Boots.
Dr. Martin boots.
These boots keep on walking.
That's it.
Go
Oh,
away.
look at that. She's beautiful.
Rita says happy feet.
Go on, lay down. Lay down. Well,
Dan, we have to see a pair of your shoes at some point.
They'll be the same as Eric's. They'll be exactly the same. Be like a 10, 11, and yeah, they're Skechers, exactly the same.
And Jay?
I've only got my work boots on. Yeah.
Matalan.
Yeah, you can't beat slip-ons. I'm too old for laces now. I can't be doing laces.
Velcro.
Bye, Linda.
They're my work boots.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Have a good week. Have a safe week.
They're nice boots.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable,
but yeah.
They say you can tell a lot about a person's footwear. I'll show you mine. I just have to unzip it.
We got boots. Like shoes. Ooh.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll take the other one off. I've got one shoe on and one shoe off now. I feel odd.
On, off, like the Karate Kid.
So, Erik, what's your favourite colour?
Purple.
And what's your favourite band?
Oh, my favorite band, Rammstein.
Ooh.
Quality. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in our club. He likes Rammstein.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah, he's one of us. You can join.
Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly.
Hi,
Hope
Kelly.
you're doing well.
Hi, Kelly.
So we can, yeah. I think he's in.
He's in. He was in anyway.
Yeah, there's no getting away from us now, Erik. You do know that.
You're in now. You're one of the club, Erik. You are one of us. You are one of us.
Look into my eyes, not around the eyes, but into the eyes.
You're right there, Brian.
Vision. How does he know? My feet smell.
My feet stink 'cause I've been in them all day.
That's right, Erik.
So, Erik.
Glad to hear it, Kelly.
Do you believe in UFOs?
I believe in the possibility. I mean, I've never seen one, but I do believe that we can't be the only beings in this universe or even in the next universe, you know.
Brilliant, Brian. You were lucky there.
That was
Come here.
sorry, my cat's trying to chew my antenna.
Come here.
I'm with you, Erik. I'm like that. I'm not. I believe that there's a possibility. I'm not seeing anything. Well, not that I can really say that's that's a UFO, but yeah, it could be. But I like anything till I've seen or experienced something. I won't give a definite. Well, yeah, but yeah.
And Erik, do you like dinosaurs? That's quite important.
It is. Yes, yes, I like dinosaurs.
Good. Good. We like dinosaurs.
Yeah, I've got 2 here.
I'm an old bastard Taurus.
What's your favourite dinosaur?
He's already told you, Viv. He likes you.
Oh, jeez. I forget what they're exactly called, but it's the one with the horns on its face, the 3 horns. It looks like a rhinoceros.
Oh, Triceratops.
Triceratops.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. Got any questions, Dan? I'm doing all the asking.
No, Eric's my twin. I don't need to ask him. We've got a psychic link. So we've been chatting in the background. We've been chatting to each other, sending each other messages.
And how do you think Erik is feeling right now, Dan?
Erik feels great.
That. Brat.
She's calling you a brat, Dan.
I am Brat. Pratt. Normally, I'm called Pratt. Normally.
It's okay to see it.
I didn't see Kelly's previous comments.
Proven
No,
aliens.
Kelly. Where? Let's have a look. Kelly. Where's Kelly? Got Kelly.
He's gonna find them. So
Proven aliens. A lot have been seen recently, says Kelly.
For aliens?
Apparently, yeah. Yeah, there's been an uptake in UFO signs, but I'm not too sure whether they're real or not.
There's been lots of sightings of Albanians, the illegal aliens, coming onto our beaches. I think they're going off to Rwanda soon.
They get off the boats and they take me to the nearest cash office.
Dan, you can't say that.
I just did. And for all of you lot of woke out there, come at me. Come at me. I don't care.
No comment.
I want to know where all the Somali pirates have got to. Because they were coming over to us, weren't they, Somalis?
Well, they're here, aren't they?
There's none left.
They're all over here now.
Okay, we'll be all right then. Oh, dear. Oh, Curly's put a comment up. When I was a child, I was a holiday with my nan and granddad, and it was early evening, and I swear to God, I see a UFO in the sky.
It's possible. Possible.
I actually recorded one from my front doorstep a couple of years ago. It was amazing.
I'm going to say something embarrassing now, Viv.
You do it.
Me and Viv were at an old US air base, weren't we? And we was three of us. And me and Viv were outside. We saw this light. And we couldn't work out what it was. And it was going on and going off. And Viv's going, look, that's unusual. And we were getting all excited and wound up. Then Ross came out, who was out. Ross was over from the States, wasn't he? Yeah. And he was investigating with us. And we said, look at that, Ross. Look at that, Ross. And Ross went, that's the street light. And we looked, no, it's going on and off. He went, wind's blowing the tree branch in front of me. Like, oh, yeah.
It was a street light. We got so excited as well.
But technically, that is a UFO. It was unidentified at the time.
That is exactly it. Exactly it, Eric. Exactly.
Yeah.
We look like proper idiots.
Yeah, I bet you did. And I wish I
Oh,
was
and
there
it's
to
not
say
stopped
it.
since.
We still look like idiots to this day.
I'll wear it as a badge of honour.
How do they explain pyramids and drawings?
Well, we got. How do they explain pyramids and drawings? Well, if there's a guy now, a scientist, there's a couple of them. There's an American guy and there's a British guy, and they have written this book. And apparently, the archaeological world and the historical world are doing everything in their power to stop this. Well, it's been published, but they're doing everything in their power to get this book revoked, and they're trying to shut them down at every corner because they've come out with this, not theory, they've got evidence to back it up, that our civilization has got to this pinnacle several times and for whatever reason has collapsed at more or less this point, right? And they're saying that the timelines that you're given are not the real timelines. What you think are the timelines are nothing compared to what the reality is. And they've got evidence to back this up, physical evidence that they're showing to people. But of course, the archaeologists and the historians that are in situ in universities and places like that, they don't want this information to get out because that means they'll be proven wrong. So everything that their theories and their ideologies and everything else has been based upon is a house of cards. So if that comes down, all their funding goes. There's a lot of people going to lose a lot of money. And there's a lot of people going to have egg on their face. They don't want it proved. So they're willing to withhold this information from everybody, which is rightfully ours because it's part of our history. You know, we're talking about global history. We're not talking about just one nation. We're not talking about, we're talking about us as a species, as a human beings, globally, you know. Every bit of history that's gone on this planet, no matter where it is, certainly affects everybody else on the planet. And I think that people on this planet are a lot closer connected than people have given them credit for through the centuries. Yeah. I think that we're a lot closer to each other than others.
Do you know the name of that book? Do you know the
I
name
will
of
find the name of that book and I'll give it to you next week and I'll give you the name of the two scientists. They are the two guys are geniuses.
I'm still having paranormal activity in my house. A few weeks ago, I was in the kitchen and all of a sudden I heard a noise at the door like a stone being thrown and it hit the glass in the early hours of the morning. I was sleeping and I had two ghosts having a conversation but couldn't figure out what they were saying.
That's interesting. We need to get around and have a word with Kelly soon, don't we?
Yeah, we need to see.
We definitely do.
Correct. Nothing is as it seems.
No, absolutely, Kelly. It's absolutely not. I do think we've been sold a dummy on a lot of stuff. And as for a lot of these, personally, I don't know. I might be completely wrong. But I do think that a lot of these UFO sightings are government instigated. And I think it's all part and parcel of the fear factor to keep you in line and to keep you where you are. Because once they've tried things like virus, and that's people have got wise to that, and they've seen how far they can manipulate people and the general populace with that. I think now what they're going to do is step it up and go for the next best thing. And people were calling this out about 2 years ago when it first started. They were calling out, or about a third of the way into it, they were calling out that the next thing after this will be alien invasion. And that's exactly the lines there. They're even doing that thing, test on phones, aren't they? Is it April? Where everybody's phone's going to go off and make this sound system. And the sound is going to be like the nuclear threat sound from the 70s.
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
they're doing that. It's a way of keeping you scared. Don't be scared. There's more of us than there are of them. They're meant to work for us.
Kelly says,
don't be scared of them.
Can you PM her the name of the book just in case she's not on?
Yeah, definitely, Kelly. I promise you, I will do it. I will do it.
And did Kelly video the conversation? Sometimes they're not easy to pick up on. You might be able to do them audibly, but they don't come up.
Although, actually, Kelly Drews has got a good idea there. If Kelly keeps a voice recorder, she can get hold of a voice, even on a phone.
On a phone.
And if she hears something, just press record and put it on the side. You never know. Maybe you might pick something up.
Oh, Kelly, don't get him started, honestly. Honestly.
Yeah.
Right, time to bring your blood pressure down a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, I like you, Kelly. You think you're the same as me.
So we're going to get Erik to join our team. He's coming out ghost hunting.
He's not woke.
He's coming out ghost hunting, and we're going to a few gigs.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And we're going to try and see a band called Bloodywood, if they're around.
Oh, yes.
We're going to stick Dan in the middle of the mosh pit. We're going to leave him in.
Love it.
And then just scatter and watch
Bloodywood are brilliant. Erik, have you heard them?
No, I have not heard them.
Viv introduced me to them. They're superb.
After the show, just get on YouTube and Google Bloodywood.
Bloodywood. They're a metal band, but they're like Indian influence, so it's Indian traditional music. And amongst it's superb.
What's it called? Bloodywood.
Yeah. As soon as Viv told me, I went and got their album. I went and got the album.
One song.
Straight away, I thought, I like this. And you know what? The album won't let you down. It is brilliant. Every song is a corker.
I'm trying to find a piece.
Alison.
Hi, Alison.
Look how nice Erik keeps his beard, Dan. You need to be doing the same.
I know. I've got to grow one out again, though.
Yeah, grow it out.
I'll grow it out again. Trouble is, I do look like a fat Colonel Sanders when I'm.
You can hear the laughing in the back.
We went to KFC and there was a guy putting up a poster of Colonel Sanders. I went up to the guy working at KFC. I went, "Yeah, do you want him to sign your poster for you?"
And I posed for him.
And he looked at me and he went, "What?" I went, "Do you want him to sign your poster?" And he looked at me like he didn't get it. I said, "It's Colonel Sanders sitting over there." They weren't impressed. Oh dear. Right, so
hi Roger, bye Roger. Sorry, we're off now.
Bye Roger.
Go back and have a look at the beginning. But buddy, good to see you though. Hope you're good.
Tomorrow night, Dan is going to be actually hosting the show on Simply Spooky, and I'm going to be sitting in the dark and working my mediumship. You're going to be seeing me working in a way that you haven't seen me working before. I'm coming out of retirement. Dan's forced me. So if you want readings tomorrow,
aren't you?
I'm doing some readings. So I have been meditating and dusting off the cobwebs, as they speak. But by doing that, I've also been feeling a few strange things in the house as well. So you never know. When I'm sitting here in the dark, you might see people joining me. Oh, I hope so. It'll be interesting
Good.
to see how it works.
I'm
Excuse
going to
me.
miss it
Good.
tomorrow.
You working?
Yeah, I'm doing
He's always bloody working.
12-hour
works
shift
hard,
tomorrow.
boy. Oh, you are, aren't you, tomorrow night?
Yeah,
You take it
7:45
easy.
in the morning till 2100 hours.
Make sure you eat and drink.
Yeah.
Make
Yes,
sure you eat and drink.
yes.
And
I
do
know
what I
you've
used to do
got
when I used to
reading.
do long
You'll
shifts.
save
Take
it for me. So.
Do what I used to do when I used to do long shifts. Take some painkillers with you.
Yeah, I've got some.
We have the jar of doom, Dan, for next week.
Let's let
can
Eric
choose it.
choose.
Eric's going to choose.
I'm going to choose again. Okay.
Yeah.
You are,
Tell
Eric.
me when to stop.
Stop.
Right.
I'll translate. Stop.
Number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Let's go number 3 this time.
Good choice. Not
Next
Urbex and
Weird things
week,
connected. Okay.
oh
Collecting
yeah,
on
yeah,
ghost
yeah, yeah.
hunts.
That'd be interesting.
So, Eric, you're going to join us next week to discuss some weird things that people have collected on ghost
If
hunts.
you want me to, I will.
We always want you to. Yes.
New member of the family. We have you now.
Oh, I just want to say one thing while Eric's on and while we're all here, and there's got quite a few people in the chat. And if you're on Lois's, if you're ever on Lois's streams, you can tell her this from us. Eric belongs to us. Keep your pissing hands off, or I'll come up to Scotland and headbutt you, you wee ginger git.
There's fighting talk there, right there.
I'll text her that in a minute.
Good. Love you really.
She knows
Poor
we love her.
Lois.
I love her really.
Yeah, but Lois is seeing to her crabs because last week, in that reading, she got
She might
told...
have. She got. I don't know if she got enough cream in Scotland. She's a bit thick. She's probably using Dairy Lee double thick, double whipped, rather than the proper stuff.
I can't get rid of the crabs, but it smells like a trifle down there.
She's going to kill us. You know that, don't you? Well, I know in her absence, the Frighteners and the To the Grave and Back Again will still be going ahead as normal. Everyone's laughing. She put face cream down there. So they will be going ahead and they'll still be doing the show. So I think Bryce, you're in the chat. Can you just clarify for us whether Frighteners is still going ahead? I'm sure last time I saw it was still going ahead on Friday. So
I think
that's
it is.
really good. Yes. While the cat's away, the mice will play, as they say. So it'll be good shows. Good shows.
Yes,
Yes.
Bry says yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Bry.
Yeah, so
Thank
don't
you,
forget
Bri.
to tune into those. We'll be back tomorrow with readings. And don't forget to join us next week on the Things Network. If you can, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Dan has some news. Are you going to tell them, Dan?
You tell him.
No, you tell them.
No, you tell him. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you tell
Viv, you tell him.
So we have gone viral on Simply Spooky on one of the shows, and we want to thank everyone that's watched it or subscribed to the channel and supported us. We are so, well, we're gobsmacked and blown away by it, and we want to just thank everyone that's taken the time, signed up to the channel, watched the shows. It means a lot to us, and we will try and get round to replying to all the comments. There's quite a few on there, so bear with us. We're new to all of this, so we're learning as we go along. So thank you to each and every one of you for that.
Thank you.
It means a lot to us, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lauren. So
No, thank you.
I think we should let Eric close the show.
Yes, Eric.
I'll say my goodbye now to everyone. So thank you
Me
and
too.
goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Have a safe week.
Be
Look
safe.
out for each other and love each other.
Eric, over to you.
I don't know. What do you want me to say? This is the first.
You can say anything you like.
Well, I wish everybody a good night. How about that?
That's perfect.
Brilliant.
Thank fuck it, Toby.